Which way? Come on.
So if memory
Where's
serves,
everyone?
I think there's a couple big
No
things that
guards?
happen on the island.
Don't use this corner of the
But
island.
then you go to the theater, and then that's it for Seattle Day 3 here. So this might be a bit of a shorter day than the other ones.
We have
Might
to
not be a
catch up
super
to-
long stream here if that's the case.
Do you know where he's
We
going?
shall see.
To our house. That's where our mom will be.
How far is it?
Across the island.
Shit.
Have a little ways to trek.
What about your people?
We'll take back trails. They
If
won't
memory
see-
serves, I don't think there's any zombie segments. I think it's
Are
just a
you
bunch
sure
of
the
human
wolves are
segments.
attacking tonight?
Yeah, that's
And
what my
then,
friend told me.
you know, this is
They'll
probably
use
where
the
I'll
storm as
spend
a
most of
cover
my
for
ammo,
attack.
because this is basically the...
Unless Isaac changes his mind.
Pretty sure this is basically like the Abbey
See you
route
later,
final boss
Isaac.
that is
Yes, you
approaching.
An end to the fighting.
But at what cost?
At this point, any cost.
Yeah, about that. The whole cycle that continues and stuff. Would there be anything worthwhile
here.
down here?
Are you good climbing that?
It's the fastest way.
And yet a ladder. Right at the beginning of the last level, Abby's like, huh, a ladder. I guess you're staying here and I'm gonna go on. But now the ladder just doesn't matter anymore. Like, the ladder was the whole reason to leave Yara behind and have a plot reason to go meet up with Manny. But then the immediate next level, we find that the ladders don't even matter. Never mind. Game would melt your Steam Deck? Maybe. I've never played with a Steam Deck before. I don't know what the specs on it are like. I've generally heard good things about them. Hey,
Abby,
look! A
grab the
quarter!
supplies, just in case.
1 coin. Whee! Yeah, these kinds of settings, I imagine that something handheld probably wouldn't like it too much. Is there anything worthwhile over here? Anyway, as we approach the next area, episode 5 of Last of Us Season 2 that just came out. Like I was mentioning before, it covers Ellie's Seattle Day 2. Oh, well, that
Fuck.
doesn't look
Nothing.
great. That's one of the things that we kind of see happen in episode 2 of the show that just dropped.
Glad we're friends.
It is what
So,
it is.
first and foremost, is it still better than the game, I would argue? Maybe. Maybe better in some ways, worse in some ways. Sunday, 0500. Scott and I made landfall on the eastern coast around 0300 hours. Intel from the prisoners proved useful for once. No direct resistance. Looking for high ground to get our bearings. 0730. Biggest confrontation of structures. Biggest concentration of structures is on the southern side. Farms to the north and east and what looks to be a logging camp. Smaller clusters of structures dot the island. All post-outbreak. Wooden buildings. These freaks sure walk the walk when they say they want to live off the land. Going to get closer to one of their villages. Waiting for nightfall at an old building in the center of the island. Scars haven't raised and rebuilt this area yet. Might be a good place for us to rendezvous. 2100. Their numbers are alarming. Significantly more than we thought. Villages are fortified and patrols across the island are well regulated and frequent. Gotten more intel than we expected. Heading back. Monday, 0400. Return to the landing spot to find our boat scuttled in the ocean. Destroyed. They know we're here. Find another way off this island. Well, they
Abby,
clearly didn't make it off the island
Why
there.
are you helping
But
us?
yeah. There's a TV show that's currently ongoing. So I'm
Yeah, that's
chatting
the
about like
same
new
thing.
episodes as they drop because there's an HBO
I
show
guess
that's actually
you
filmed here in
deserve this.
Canada.
But
Interestingly
also,
enough.
I needed to.
So season 1 of the show that covered the first game came out a couple of years ago, and season 2 that covers this game is just now coming out. But it seems like they're splitting the story of this game into season 2 and season 3. They're taking 2 seasons for this one. So I guess what season 2 ends, it's gonna bring us up to the halfway point of this game, and then the season 3 is gonna cover the second half. So season 1 they actually filmed here in Alberta where I live, but
Is that your
for
village?
season 2 and 3 they filmed it in BC, British Columbia, because they needed a coast. Alberta's kind of middle of nowhere, super far inland, so you wouldn't really have anything that looks like this in Alberta, so it kind of makes sense that they had to change the filming location. So episode 5 is what just dropped today as of 3 hours ago that I watched just before hopping into this video game here. So I still think that there's like some aspects where it may be better than the game. Some aspects maybe
It's our warning
not.
signal. Your people are
First and
here.
foremost, there are some differences
The whole
with
island is on alert now. We need to hurry.
oh noes.
Damn
There are
it.
some differences with what they did with Dina. So I'm pretty sure Seattle Day 2 with Ellie's story is where Dina stays in the theater, doesn't come along. She's pregnant, she needs to rest. But she just keeps on coming along in the show version, and she starts getting nauseous when she sees like more stuff with the dead Seraphites, where there's like graffiti saying "Feel her love," and then there's like some WLF graffiti that's like "Feel this, bitch," and you have like a bunch of dead Seraphites under it. So it kind of illustrates more the WLF and Seraphite conflict. And, like, Dina starts getting nauseous again, which she attributed to her pregnancy, and Ellie's like, oh shit, wait a second, I forgot you're pregnant. Should you really be coming with me on this journey of revenge? Is that irresponsible? You could be in danger. And then Dina's like, hey, you never asked me about my first kill. It happened when this guy came in and murdered my mother and sister, and so I killed him back when I was 8. And I think if they had done to my family what those guys had done to Joel, that I would have absolutely hunted them down. And it's like, oh, okay, we're actually getting Dina backstory that I don't think we got in the game version, unless there's like some lore or hidden notes or something somewhere that talk about Dina's backstory. Ooh, an axe. So we actually got some Dina backstory in the show version, and it actually makes more sense now why she wants to come along on this revenge journey to, like, take out those that killed Joel. And it's like, okay, she can kind of relate, and you know, had someone in her life that she hated and wanted to kill and was able to kill. But she was like, if I hadn't, then I would have absolutely set out on this journey of revenge as well. So with Joel, I totally gotta head out and get revenge and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, her motivations are more understandable as opposed to just like, oh, Ellie's going, so I guess I'll go too. Like it kind of is in the game version. It feels like they have a thing for one another. So Dina's gonna support Ellie in the revenge journey. So actually having some reason behind that in the show version is like, okay, that's welcome. And then, ooh, more bullets. I already have a full mag, it seems like, so. Here, if it's gonna be human segments coming up, then I may as well attach the silencer there in case I need a silent shot. This is loaded, right? Yeah, this is loaded. Okay, we're good. Just making sure here. So I like that difference. And then Dina was like, alright, so do you want me to come along or do you want me to stay in the theater? I'll do whichever you choose. And I was like, okay, so Ellie's gonna choose for Dina to stay in the theater so that it coincides with the game version. How about I make some incendiary shells? There we go, sure. That sounds like a good plan to me, and then I can pick up this crafting material. But then it kind of surprised me and subverted expectations. Look at Han Solo.
When you're lost in the darkness.
And she was like, I want you to come along with me and let's be reckless. Like, oh, okay, I guess Dina's just coming along now. So I forget all the levels you had to do in, like, Seattle Day 2. Because the only real important story stuff is essentially, like, you know, the stuff that happens at the hospital with Nora. It's just, like, clear a whole bunch of levels on the way to go there and meet up with Jesse at one point. And that's it, so. I was wondering what they were going to do in the show version. So in the show version, they added a new building. Dina's like, all right, I figured out that the hospital is over here, and I figured out from the radios that their patrols are around here. And we get her putting this information together with the game version as well. But in the show version, it's also done in a way to, like, better establish, like, what's going on with the Seraphites and the way that they live. What with the whole live off the land and not use technology and stuff like that. Because Ellie's like, what the heck, they're really just saying all this stuff over the radio for anyone to listen to? And Dina's like, yeah, they're just saying everything. It seems like with these Seraphites, they're just using bows and arrows and, you know, living basically, so they wouldn't be able to intercept it. So it very much gives the sense that the WLF is overconfident. They're relying on the fact that they use technology and the Seraphites don't, past, like, their bows and arrows and bolt-action rifles and stuff. So, like, to use that as a means to establish, like, the very simple lifestyle of the Seraphites that they wouldn't be able to listen in on that radio broadcast, I thought was interesting, and it would have been cool to have a little note like that in the game.
Get them to the shelter! Go!
So I like that bit.
How do we get through this?
The gate'll be locked. The lumber mill. The big building on the right with the torches.
That gets us out of here?
Yeah, we can cut through it.
Perfect. Come on.
Time for some sneaky human segments. Time for the true levels to begin. Alright, so turn off the flashlight. Let's have on my silenced pistol as a potential panic option here. You are what? Oh, what did I just get? Blade? Okay, well, let's see here. Let's see how many tries this takes me to get through here. What the heck is going on? Oh, that's a water wheel. Looked like there was like a beaming up effect or something over there. Can I grab you? Don't look this way. Don't. Okay. No, a wolf scout definitely didn't make it past here. No one sees us. No one sees us. No one sees us. No one suspects a thing. What? That was like a Bethesda game moment there. Or like a Ubisoft game moment. But that was kind of like... Alright, a little bit goofy. Stop pushing me out of my cover spot. You're not going to see me from here, right? Oh, there's another water sec... Stop pushing me out of my cover! My god. Anyway, so rather than having like a bunch of levels to clear with like zombies and humans and stuff like that, like the game version, in the show version, they're just like, yep, there's one building to get past, and then you make it to the hospital. Whoa! Hold on, can I ride this out? Is this worth riding out, or do I reset checkpoint? Uh-oh. I probably reset checkpoint, because I lost stealth there. Wow, your aim sucks! Ah! I'm so bad at video games. Alright, let's try that again. Alright, I do want the blade over here. Yoink. I thought I saw a flash here, too. I'll probably take the same route that I did before. This is probably going to take a few tries. So, they're like, hey, they have all these patrols around this area, but, like, this one building is left untouched. That means that there's probably infected through there, but maybe we can sneak through that way and no one will be any the wiser. So maybe that's the way to go, and that's the way that they decide to go. So we have one building exclusive to the show for Seattle Day 2 to get through, essentially. Yeah, I saw the bit in, like, the other games channel there. Be annoyed by Bravely Default 2 being in 19th place. Yeah, I saw that there. And with that, I definitely have no interest in seeing that video, considering I think that, like, without a doubt, Bravely Default 2 is probably one of the worst RPGs I've ever played. Like, it feels like it goes out of its way to try and do things wrong and just fundamentally contradict its own design. So I really don't get it when people say that, like, it's a friggin' amazing game and stuff. Like, I get it when people are referring to something like this game. Like, I don't think that this game is a masterpiece by any means, and I have lots of things that I criticize about it. But for those that absolutely love this game, I do get why. Bravely Default 2, I do not get why. I really do not. Level 5 is 18th on the list, okay. Paper Mario 1000 Doors 12, Octopath Traveler 2, 11th. Interesting. One Gold Silver 9th. Xenoblade 3, 5th? Really? Final Fantasy 10, 3rd. Persona 5, 2nd. What were they smoking? So one person's gonna go around this way. Okay, this is the way we go. If it's not coming from my man Logan Plant, I don't trust it from IGN. If it's my man Logan Plant, I'll take it seriously. The others I don't trust. So, let's try something a little bit different here. So I guess Abby gets a water level towards the end of the game as well. Like Ellie did. Let's see here. Did I grab it? Oh, I did! Okay, so then, like... What? What? Who? Is it her all the way over there that saw me? Man, I swear, they have, like, supervision in these games. It's crazy. Or in this game specifically, I don't remember it being that big of an issue with part 1. Anyway, with the building, what they did in episode 5 of the show was they had it be filled with stalkers to show, like, hey, once again, here's like the new thinking zombie type exclusive to the show. You know, in terms of, like, the zombies are getting smarter, they're thinking now. Kind of exclusive. Or it's just a thing as of season 2 and the infection getting stronger and stuff like that. You get out of here. And Ellie's like, oh crap, well, we're surrounded by them. How about you go lock yourself in, like, that little caged area, and I'll deal with them, because I can get bit a whole bunch of times, you can't. So, like, the immunity does come into play, like, a bit more, and she does use that as a means to, like, protect Dina. Grab the... Give me the things. Okay, well, she'll see that. I can't be going that way. And so, like, they're fighting off these Zambos. Ellie lets off a shot despite Dina saying, like, hey, this needs to be, like, the very last resort. So we see that that's basically the last resort. We have Bravely Default. Will we be buying any of the Switch 2 game key cards, Harmonia? No. No, thank you. I think that there is literally no point to buy Bravely Default on the Switch when... I feel like I would get a more enjoyable experience off of the 3DS version anyway, because I really like having the two screens, where it's like the actual battle on the top and all the stats and stuff going on the bottom screen. But instead, having to bring all that down to the bottom of a 16:9 screen, I just don't think is quite as visually appealing. And considering it just seems to be a remaster in the sense of, like, we're bringing it on over, and we're bumping up the graphics, you know, the same that I could already do on a 3DS emulator. It's like, what's the point? The only selling point that they've given me is there's new motion control mini games on the Switch 2 version. And it's like, okay, I've never once thought, man, if only there were some motion control mini games I could play in Bravely Default. So it's just of zero interest to me. And by being a game key card, it's especially of zero interest to me. Yoink. So I don't really have any reason to buy it, I don't think. Plus the whole game key card thing with it, where it's like, gross. All that. So I don't think I will. At first I was thinking, maybe if it's ever, like, on sale or something like that, but after finding out it's a game key card, when it did all exist on the cartridge on the 3DS, so why can't it on the Switch? I just have no interest in that, and that's not really a business practice that I want to support. So with the direction that they've been taking Bravely Default for the past while, I haven't exactly been super impressed by Squeenix. Not particularly.
Quiet.
So, not really something I want to support. Okay, there's another one down. Maybe I'll sneak around this way. Anyway, but the stuff with episode 5 here. What? Oh my god, there's a guy there! Hold on, I'll get this route figured out. Just you wait. Yoink. So, Dina's in this cage. These stalkers are, like, super strong. They are ripping it apart. Like, it is a full, like, metal grate kind of thing, and they're just ripping it apart like it's just, like, some slightly heavier duty paper or something like that. And it's like, holy crap. Got, like, super strength here. Meanwhile, Ellie's, like, getting mauled in the chest and, you know, clearly very screwed there. And that's when, like, a shooter comes into the building and is shooting all them and very much cleaning up and has a handle on things. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's gonna be Jesse. It was Jesse. And, so now you have, like, the 3 of them in there. The WLF ended up hearing the gunshots and running in, as Dina warned Ellie they would if gunshots were fired off. And now the 3 of them are running away from the WLF. Because he's like, you weren't bit, were you? And Dina knows that she was bit, but lies and says, like, she wasn't. I saw it. She knows that... Uh-oh. She knows that Ellie's immune. Holy crap, man. But yeah. Zombie nerd and zombies having super strength isn't out of the question. I guess so. Yeah, so I was a bit surprised about that. WLF starts running in, the 3 of them are running off, and they go into the forest, and I was like, okay, now the Seraphites are gonna show up. Especially when the WLF didn't follow them in there, and they're like, uh-oh, there's a reason that they're not following us in. Is that an arrow that I missed? Yoink, please? I guess you can just use regular arrows, and it doesn't have to specifically be crossbow bolts or something. Here, let's see. And then we have, like, the forest Seraphite section. I was like, oh, is Ellie gonna get shot with a, arrow if it's like the game? Dina gets shot with an arrow. Which I guess makes sense where, in gameplay, you can just, like, pull it out and just see that your health went down. Ooh, that's lucky. Just see that your health went down and know that's not going to have any story impact. But if you're watching a TV show, someone gets shot with an arrow, it's like, oh, that's important. They're actually injured now. It's not like a game where you can just heal that. And then it also kind of shows irresponsibility in Ellie by saying, like, hey, even though you're pregnant, you should keep on coming with me anyway. So when Ellie made the decision of, yes, you should keep coming with me, you kind of see, like, the consequences of that decision blocking me there. So it kind of serves story purpose in that sense.
Wolf in our village!
Oh my god! Well, so much for the hunting pistol ammo. And then Jesse takes Dina, carries her off to presumably run back to the theater. And instead of running with them, Ellie's like, well, I'm gonna go this way that leads to the hospital and stuff. I think they split up when the Seraphites see them. And then they, and then instead of trying to go back to the theater, Ellie's like, I'm gonna keep on pressing to the hospital. And that's how they end up getting separated in the show version. And in the show version, we also get, like, that same scene of, like, a guy being strung up and the Seraphites that are like, free him, and then they cut him open and stuff. So we still get that. But in the show version, we have the guy being like, wait, I want to join you. And that clearly doesn't work. And he's like, wait, I know what Isaac's plan is. I can tell you. And that doesn't work either. So that kind of sets things up kind of better as well. And that also reminded me of another thing with episode 4 that I forgot to mention last time. There was an interesting note by, like, a Seraphite saying to Isaac, you'll lose. And Isaac asks why. And the Seraphite is like, because WLF members come and join the Seraphites all the time, but no Seraphite, damn it, has ever left to join the WLF. You are blocking me from my recreational drugs. Don't ever do that.
Wolf in our village!
Okay, that clearly doesn't work. So there were some things I thought were interesting about it. Yeah, I agree. I think it's good that the keycards exist as a money-saving option for publishers, but I don't intend to buy any, even though I've bought Switch games that are very minimal with the on-card content. Yeah, fair enough there. And good examples of that would be, like, Assassin's Creed Rebel Collection, where it's like, Assassin's Creed 4 exists on it, but Rogue does not. So, like, half the package is just not even on there. Or Pokemon BESP, where it's like, essential game content is patched in, like, literally all of post-game. Like, what the heck even? So, if after the Switch servers go down, and you have, like, a Switch console that hasn't played BDSP before, and you pop in a cartridge, guess what? You never get to play post-game. Like, that sure sucks, huh? So, not exactly a big fan of those kinds of business practices. But it also makes sense for them to be rolling out game key cards with the Switch too, considering, like, Blu-ray discs are really easy to produce cheap and en masse since they're technology that's been around for, close to a couple decades now. So you can now produce it, like, cheap and easy en masse. No problemo. But cartridges cost a lot more. Like, if you make really, really small cartridges, you can potentially make the same profit margin. But if you're making things like 16, 32, 64 gigabyte cartridges, it is very hard to be making the same profit margin as, like, a Blu-ray disc for the other platforms when it costs so much more to just manufacture that cartridge in the first place. I might just bow this guy.
She protects us.
Did she see that? Me switching weapons? Hold on. Because in terms of enemy sight, there's got to be a point in video games where too far is too far, right? They wouldn't hear this, would they? Oh, they wouldn't. I actually did that pretty quietly. No, not this way, please. You turn around, please. But as for some of the negatives with the episode, for one, as Dina and Ellie are strolling around there, it occurred to me there's still no mention of what happened to the horse. So in the game version, the horse was, like, blown up by the landmine. Glimmer isn't around anymore. Like, or Shimmer, whatever the heck. I'm thinking of Xenoblade Chronicles here now. So Shimmer isn't around anymore because that happened. But in the show version, that didn't happen. We don't have, like, the whole elementary school scene. Like, the horse is just fine. The horse is put into, like, the music store, and then, like, Ellie and Dina set out on foot on their own. And then after, like, the run from the WLF in, like, the end of Seattle Day 1, after they run from the TV station and, go through the tunnels, they make it to the theater and they hole up in there. But I was like, okay, well, soon enough, I guess they'll go back for the horse or something. They did not.
Get to the lumber mill. You'll pay for this, Yara.
Get here for now. Yoink. I saw that thing glowing. It was speaking to me. This is fine. This is fine.
She's got a shotgun! To the right!
What? Oh my god. Oh my god, man. So, like, the horse is never brought up. We don't see that the horse was brought to, like, the theater. Presumably, the horse is still just, like, chilling in the music store. Or something like that. Like, it's never brought up, and it feels very much like the writers just kind of, like, forgot that the horse exists. Because the horse didn't exist to that point in the game version. The horse was killed off. But in the show version where the horse isn't killed off, it is just completely forgotten about, presumably still in the music store. Now, here we are on, like, the following day and just continue to head out and just never grabbing the horse or anything. So, like, I don't understand. Like, what the heck? Metal Gear Solid Master Collection was bad for excluding all the cover art games from the actual cart. Agreed. Only having, like, the retro games on there. Retro, I'm defining as, like, the 2D ones. So, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, and Snake's Revenge Metal Gear 2. Are the full official names there. And it's like, you know, these other games came out in what, like, 2000, 2002, and 2004? 6 for 3? I don't remember what it was for 3.
Wolf in our village!
What? Oh my god! So, like, you would think that games that old, like, even if they're bumped up to HD, wouldn't take up that much space, I would think. But I guess that's Konami. Yeah, so the horse just feels Thanos snapped in the show, just like, it's just a forgotten plot point, it feels like. Maybe it'll come up in, like, episode 7 in Seattle Day 3 after all. We'll see. But right now, it just feels like it's kind of just, like, a forgotten plot point because the writers forgot it existed. So, I don't know what the heck is up with that. Also forgot to mention in the, show version when Jesse shows up, he's like, hey, you guys snuck out and we wanted to head out and, you know, bring you guys home. So me and Tommy snuck out as well. So, before, in the game version, it was that Tommy snuck out, Ellie and Dina were let out by Maria and go out to seek revenge as well. And then Jesse comes out to help them out as well, saying my friend's problems are my problems. And he's initially here to, like, help with the whole revenge plot as well. So everyone heads out for, like, the revenge plot at one point or another. Whereas in the show version, it's that Ellie and Dina head out for the revenge plot, and Jesse and Tommy come to, like, bring them home in the first place. So this time... So this time, Jesse is not there to... Oh, I forgot that arrow again. Jesse is not there to help out with the revenge plot and, like, my friend's problems are my problems. He's out there to, like, save them and bring them home in the first place, rather than, like, his priorities shifting to that one. He's like, hey, this has gone too far. Let's get Tommy and get out of here, like in the game version. They're just there to, you know, bring them home, to look out for Ellie and Dina. And Jesse's like, yeah, we got to Seattle and we saw the map in the theater. That's how I found you here. This is the map that you left in the theater. So I guess they just happened to go into, like, the same theater and find that map. He's like, yeah, we split up after, like, shortly after getting to Seattle, cover more ground and stuff. So that's kind of the story excuse. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No? Uh-oh. And I do think that that is, like, the more realistic kind of thing, where it's like, Ellie and Dina snuck out. They, are out here on this revenge plot. Ellie directly for Joel, and Dina partially for Joel, but also, like, kind of being sympathetic after revealing her backstory that didn't exist in the game version. So I kind of like that. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. But considering Tommy is pretty hell-bent on revenge in the game version, it'll be interesting to see if they still end up taking him down that path in the show version eventually. But maybe just, like, not initially. So we shall see. I'm taking a little bit of a gamble here. I should not have taken a little bit of a gamble there.
Wolf in our village! Protect the tail!
Get to the lumber mill. This way!
Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. So about that. Where'd the one guy go? I like that plot point a little bit better. Yoink. Hey. There we go. That's the way to deal with that. But yeah, I don't like that the horse was just kind of erased from existence. And the other thing that I don't like is what happened with Nora in the hospital. So, you're just a melee guy, though. So, I mean... Okay, my axe broke before, I guess. No one's gonna snipe me from here, right? Clearly they want to. But are they good enough to? Damn it. I think I just reset now. Oh, well, I'm gonna die anyway. So, there is no, like, sneaking into the hospital. We see a little bit of, like, a dog has caught Ellie's scent and is going after her, and it's like, oh, we're gonna do something with the dogs? Maybe it's more of just, like, a nod showing that, like, the WLF have dogs. I don't know if there's gonna be anything with, like, sneaking around them much in the show version. Just, like, one has caught her scent, and right before it reaches her, like, she pulls her backpack through the hole, and the guy's like, oh, well, I guess it was just, like, some critter or something like that, and gives up. And then all of a sudden, she's in the hospital and, you know, doing the scene with Nora and stuff. So, no hour and a half trying to, Did it? Wait. What is my checkpoint? Because that is not my normal spawn location. Okay, so checkpoint me here like this. Well, I can work with this. So we're just kind of in there. I mean, it makes sense to kind of, like, get on with it with the story and stuff. And then in the actual scene of Ellie confronting Nora there, it is pretty much the exact same as the game, like, word for word. There have been a couple scenes like that. Like, when, Jesse is coming to Ellie and saying, like, hey, it's time to go out on patrol, are you ready? With episode 2 / the beginning of the game version. That one was pretty much a near one-to-one kind of thing, like, lines right from the game. It was the same thing with the confrontation of Nora in the show version. It was basically exactly the same as the game. But the game version felt, like, far better. Like, in the game version, you have Ellie going, like, you remember me? Yeah, you remember me. Whereas in the show version, it's like, you remember me? Yeah, you remember me. And it's like, okay, that delivery is nowhere near as good there. And a lot of it felt like the game version was like the high quality original, and the show version felt kind of like a high school play reenactment kind of thing where, like, the acting isn't as good. And for the most part, I've actually really liked the performance of Bella Ramsey. I've thought that she's done, like, a really great job as, like, conveying emotion. I get, like, the complaints where it's like she still feels very much like a kid. I looked up her age at one point. Apparently she's like 21 or something like that. So it's like, oh yeah, like, very much young adult, but still very much looks like a kid, especially when she was established as a kid in, like, season 1. And now 5 years are supposed to have passed and she looks like the exact same in season 2, when you're supposed to be going from, like, what, like 14 to 19 or something like that in the story, and it very much doesn't feel like that. So I get that. But the acting I have felt has been, like, really solid and is able to show emotion really well. But that whole scene just felt like really, really sloppy. I was thinking to, like, the game version where it's like, you know, there's some really good line delivery where it's like, we could have killed you. Yeah, well, maybe you should have. Or maybe you should have stayed the fuck out of Jackson, you know, stuff like that. Whereas in the show version, it's like, we could have killed you. Yeah, maybe you should have. Maybe you should have stayed the fuck out of Jackson. And it's like, okay, that doesn't really hit the same. So some of the lines felt really impactful in the game version, but in the show version, it just felt like really sloppy. And again, like, I do think that there is some talented acting there, like I've seen from other scenes. So I'm sure if they had just done enough takes, they probably could have, like, done it well. But it just felt like it was a, like, take that should have been redone that they didn't bother redoing. Like, the delivery just wasn't really there. Yeah, it really lacks the bite of the game version. So, like, I haven't minded the show version much at all up until this point. But in that regard, like, that whole scene just felt like really sloppy, honestly. Do you not go in here? I saw someone walking this way just... Oh, you went around like that. Okay. Here. Yoink.
Shh, quiet.
We're going this way. We're going this way. We're going this way. round this way. Time to die. You see nothing. You see nothing. You see nothing. Good. So I felt like that was sloppily handled in the show version and just really lacked impact. And I felt like we didn't get as much dialogue about Joel getting what he deserved. Like, I don't remember if that was the, if it was the same amount of lines or if it was different, but I feel like the scene was a little bit longer in the game version, and it felt like it was cut down just a little bit before Nora starts making a run for it. I'm forgetting names because I'm trying to like concentrate on the game as well.
Wolf in our village!
But yeah, let's see here. Still get one of these guys here. So I didn't like the handling of that. And then this time, as we're doing the chase scene, I thought that it would be like, you know, the high intensity chase scene as people are shooting at Ellie and, you know, Nora is blocking all sorts of pathways. Like, it's really intense and cinematic in the game version. I thought that it had like a lot of visual flair. Whoa, I was worried you were gonna turn this way. Damn it. Like, it had a lot of visual flair. It was really kind of cool in the game version. And then if you ended up taking routes faster than the devs expected, then Nora would just super speed and it was super funny. In the show version, Nora runs out. She, it calls out like, hey, shoot her. She's after me. Stuff. Oh, you see that, darn you. So in like the main lobby of the hospital, you have some guys on the upper level shooting at Ellie. And that's it. There isn't really anybody in the later segments. Okay, you're going that way this time. And as... Oh, his legs got... Oh, what is happening? Instead of Nora using, like, the environment to her advantage and continuing to block pathways and stuff like that for Ellie, she does one thing to try and impede Ellie. In the middle of, like, a very large, like, wide hallway, she takes a wheelchair and she aggressively pushes it towards Ellie. Again, in, like, a wide hallway. Something that's, like, the width of probably, like, my office here. Something like, wow, the camera's trying to keep on tracking me. Something like this width across, maybe even wider. Like, it is a significantly wide hallway. It wasn't like it was a narrow passage or anything like that. She pushes this wheelchair at Abby, like, right in the middle of the hall. And with all that width, you should be able to just, like, easily go to the right of it, go to the left of it. Ellie just takes it head on. It's like, ooh, like, gets hit with the freaking wheelchair. And it's like, really? What the hell? So, I found that rather baffling, honestly. And honestly, a little bit goofy. Like the kind of thing you'd see in a comedy movie. It was very odd. So that was the one... What? How did they know? Am I being too loud here as I ramble about the TV show? What the hell? So I found that really goofy. And then Nora makes it to a dead end. And she's like, oh no, this is the only place that I can go is like through this elevator shaft. So like the elevator's open a little bit. She forces it open and hops in and the elevator comes crashing down. And you see like B2, like the second lower floor. And I don't remember if that was what they addressed the floor as in like the beginning when they were talking about like the spores in the air. But I assume it is because like we have the whole scene with the spores and stuff like that. And maybe the audience is supposed to be like, oh shit, it's that level they were talking about at the beginning. They might have mentioned what specific level it was in like a passing mention. I didn't remember the name of the floor. Like I knew from playing the game that that was going to be the spore floor. What? Who saw me? I don't get it. Yeah, the running in a straight line conundrum. You'll love to see it. So she goes running into that floor. I guess she doesn't know that there's spores there because at the beginning, that one superior one is like, hey, we're gonna keep this to just like the people that already know and myself. We're not gonna be sharing this information around. Like we're gonna keep the fact that there's spores in the air on that floor secret for some reason. Like, I guess they don't want people panicking finding out that there's like airborne spores that can infect you now, since again it's like a new thing that is only now coming up in the show. Like it's not common knowledge like in the game. So I guess Nora didn't know because like the superior was like, hey, we're not gonna tell people. So instead of Ellie like forcing the two of them down there, that's what ends up happening instead. That is different from what you usually do. And Ellie pursues her down there, and Ellie doesn't know that there's any spores down there either. And, I mean, after Nora opened that elevator and, like, jumped down there, and, like, Ellie hops down there as well, the soldiers that are pursuing Ellie are like, oh shit, it's that place, we've got to breach, we gotta, like, seal this up and stuff. But then, it begs a couple questions. For one, Nora wasn't told that there were spores down there, and presumably most people weren't told that there were spores down there, because, like, that one superior is like, we're gonna keep this on the down low, we're not gonna be letting people know. And yet this whole group of, like, random soldiers that just so happened to be the people around that were chasing Ellie know that that is, like, a spore area, and that it's a breach and they have to seal it up, for one, when it was supposed to be, like, a secret, and two, the elevator shaft was already open by, like, a smidge like that. That's how Nora was able to get her hands in and, like, force it open. So it was already open by a smidge, but it's only when it's open far enough that a person can fit through that it's like, oh shit, we have a breach, it's gonna spread to our area now, this is really bad. Like, but not before? Like, really? It was very kind of odd. It makes you question, what the heck even? Like, and it had nothing to do with, like, the door that you saw sealed up at, like, the intro of the episode. So you never see that during, like, the chase sequence. And you're able to get in through there. Maybe it's because they heard the elevator fall and they thought now it's on a level that, like, spores can get up, because now it goes above, like, the fallen elevator instead of into the fallen elevator or something. But I mean, elevators aren't exactly gonna be airtight around them anyway, so, like, I don't get it. It is rather odd. So yeah, that's what went on there with the show version. Okay, this is fine. No one's gonna see me do this, I don't think. And then we have, like, the actual scene with, no!
Wolf in our village! Get to the lumber mill!
Or something here. Is there anything stopping me from just, like... Yes, they see that. We have the scene with the two of them down there, and like, they did some major work on the set, and in the intro to the episode we hear the superior talking, or like the one lady talking to the superior saying, like, there's infected that are, like, stuck in the walls and the floors and stuff, and that's what we see in that part of the episode at the end. Oh my god, he's kind of weird, isn't he? We see, like, these infected stuck in the walls, kind of like the stalkers in the but not quite. The immediate vibes that I got when I saw, like, a dude in the wall was I think his name is Bill Turner from, like, whatever William's dad's name was in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, where he's, like, stuck in the wall, like, kind of semi-standing there. That's what it reminded me of, having an infected like that. Oh my god. Well, welcome on into the Discord there. And quick duck, I tried there, Anima. How's it going? Just chatting about the TV show of this game right now. Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be much to Seattle Day 3, but it's gonna take a little while just because these levels are gonna take me a while. Just because that's how it's gonna go. Let's see here. So you see some guys in the walls. Not quite in the floors, like, someone's a little bit lower down, like, slouched down and stuff like that. Who is seeing me?
To the lumber mill! You'll pay for this, Yara!
Great. That's not quite what I want to do there. Yeah, whatever. Going good, you passed out before, fair enough. And with the show version with these guys in the walls, you kind of see where the spores are coming from. You don't really see where the spores are coming from in the game version. You just see that there's, like, a whole bunch of, like, fungus around. And I guess when there's a bunch of fungus around, like, there's spores around. Whereas in the show version, it's if there's these guys that are, like, stuck in the wall, they breathe out the spores. And this is kind of like a new thing that the Cordyceps is doing. Another way that it's evolving, like, they're bringing in the they're bringing in the spores later in the story, and they're bringing in the, uh-oh. And they're bringing in the stalkers later and using them to show that, like, the infection is evolving, and, like, when it infiltrated Jackson as well is another example, so. We get to kind of see that in the show version. And it did have me questioning in the game, like, we see fungus around, like, all sorts of places. Like, why are there places where we see fungus around, but there isn't spores in the air? Do you just visually see that there's spores in the air and judge based on that? Or, like, how exactly does it work? Damn it. Yeah, I mean, I would presume so, but, like, what's the point in the games where you put on a gas mask or you don't? Like, where's, like, the risk level? But in the show version, I guess it's, like, when you have an area that's, like, so covered in fungus that you have, like, dudes breathing out spores that are stuck in the wall or something. I don't know if we'll see spores again later in the show. Like, I guess they kind of had to use the spores with, like, the whole Nora scene to make that work. I think you're somehow seeing me from under there. So I don't think I can grab that guy there, because you're somehow, like, seeing our legs. Which means I'm adopting a new plan. Damn it. I heard that guy gasp there. And then with the scene with Nora and Abby there, there's, like, the whole same thing where it's like, hey, you've killed us both. Wait a second, you're her, you're immune. There's nobody chasing Ellie down with gas masks and no zombies versus regular guys kind of battle like we had in the game version. Just kind of Ellie's down there on her own. Hey. So then we do this.
Protect the camp!
Get to the lumber mill!
Please, just like... Oh, Thor's hammer! I did it successfully this time! Oh, that's so cool. I did it without dying this time. Holy crap. Okay, so they shouldn't know I'm in here yet. Go back to searching. Okay. Wouldn't mind seeing if I could get arrows back from the guys that I shot here before. Nope. Nothing to see here. This'll work. This'll work. Don't worry about it. It's hard to, like, talk about the show while I'm, you know, going crazy over here and stuff. We're here for a specific purpose. They don't exactly know what that purpose is, but they want to kill me just because I'm with, like, the other faction. I'm with the WLF, the Wolves, and the Wolves and the Seraphites, these guys are bitter enemies, so they see one another, they kind of want to kill one another. How I go? Stop pushing me out of my dang cover, dang it. More arrows? I was thinking about it, but... Nothing here, that's right. Anyway, we do get a little bit of a difference in, like, the Ellie and Nora talking scene, like, down there. We still get, like, a bit of a red aesthetic, not from, like, flares that were sent down there this time, but instead, like, Ellie finds the power, turns it on, and there's, like, red lights that come on, so we get, like, the same red aesthetic for that reason. Yeah, they didn't see that. In the show version, we have Nora say, like, you know what Joel did, right? Like, he came into the hospital and, like, killed everyone, including Abby's dad, who's the only person that could actually make a cure. And Ellie just straight up tells her, I know. So we find out that Ellie knows a little bit earlier in the show version. She just straight up tells Nora, yep, that thing that you just described intricately exactly what he did, yeah, I know. I would have stealth taken down this guy if it wasn't for that guy over there. He keeps rounding every single corner. Uh-oh. Hammer time! This is fine. This is fine. Don't worry about it. That sucks a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah, these levels are really hard. The one guy that was in here, I think, fully dipped out. So maybe I can just, like, go this way. Ah, damn it. Should I just go at this point? This is the way through, but, like, I kind of want some of my arrows back, and there's, like, other goods around here. Damn it, that is too much damage than I would like to sustain here. This is my checkpoint now, though. Okay. Yeah, definitely not conductive to one's health. Did it save that I reloaded this? Okay. Are there any arrows I can get back here? Would it even save that with the checkpoint? How did they see? How did they see? It sounded like someone was behind me. Like some enemy there. I'm full on rags. Did I collect that at some point? Or if I checkpoint, can I not collect this anymore? Because I thought I hadn't done that yet in this run. 2 arrows. Man. Man. Sucks to suck. And then with the bit where Ellie starts striking Nora, we actually do see some of that firsthand. Instead of, you know, seeing the camera pointed towards Ellie. We actually do see that happen while she keeps on asking Nora, where is Abby? And all that. But after a few strikes, just like the game, it does cut out. And then it goes to, like, the flashback where she's waking up and goes like, hey there, kiddo. Which leads me to believe that episode 6 will be for dedicated flashback stuff. Maybe her finding out and stuff. I'll come back and grab this later, maybe. I'm sure I only have, like, a hit to this thing anyway. And then episode 7 will probably be Seattle Day 3. And that'll conclude season 2 of The Last of Us show. And then we'll have, like, the Abby stuff. Seattle Day 1 to 3. And then the epilogue with season 3. Is what I imagine will happen here. So I do think that it's generally a better storytelling format. What with, like, hey, the stuff that was flashbacks before, we now tell, like, before the story starts. And then, like, the other stuff that we want to save for flashbacks specifically later in the story. We do all dedicated in, like, episode 6 before Seattle Day 3. So, we'll see what episode 6 is like and how they handle the flashback scenes and stuff. What'll be going on with that. So, yeah, generally, I do think that there are some ways that it's better still. Like, the whole Dina has backstory and actual more reason for going out on this revenge journey as well. There's some actual consequences to Ellie taking this path with, like, Dina getting injured there. And Jesse and Tommy are heading out to try and bring them home. Instead of just, like, supporting the revenge plot. Because Ellie and Dina were the ones that, like, super wanted revenge. But we've also got some sloppiness, like the inferior scenes with, like, Ellie and Nora when she first confronts her. Where it just felt, like, really sloppy. Like, the really weird things like roll a single wheelchair at her and she gets caught by that. Or things like the horse just doesn't exist anymore and the writers have just forgotten about that. The heck? Our position's been compromised. So, we are still having some things that I feel like are better, but we are definitely also at some points where I'm feeling like things are a little bit sloppy in some ways. So, that's what I felt about episode 5 of Last of Us Season 2. Let's see what episode 6 and 7 are like. So, I guess I'll talk about episode 6 in the final stream of the story of this game, and then talk about episode 7 and the whole thing overall when I come back and do the no return content. But yeah. I missed that bit earlier about it also being terrible for hygiene. What with rambling about episode 5. But I think that's everything I wanted to say now. I don't think I missed things. Probably. Look at all the guys I killed over here. Would there be an arrow on any... Oh, I got a shotgun shell! Ooh, that's kind of cool. That's not half bad, honestly. How much is even in my shotgun, since I used so much recently? No, not the regular bullets. Is it fully loaded? Yeah, it's fully loaded. Okay. Well, I do like having the crossbow on there, though. Oh, my goodness. So, Oh, and also bits with the Seraphites. Like, sometimes they say things like, may she guide me in game. But, while they're going after Ellie, they chant, like, a whole bunch of things that really gives them the vibes of, like, religious cult and stuff like that. So you do, I was about to say, get a stronger impression of, like, their belief system earlier on in the show version than the game. But, the words I was initially gonna say is you get, like, you know, the impression that they're a cult in the show version, but obviously you do in the game as well, since you see a dude literally being cut open. So, I mean, getting to Doom Guy levels of carrying capacity, what, all the stuff I'm carrying here? I wouldn't be carrying too much stuff if I was playing on a, playing in a way that I was willing to actually use more of my stuff more often, but here I am trying to hoard. Though, I mean, uh-oh. Oh my god! Oh my god, how did he not see me? Grab, 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 grab.
Quiet.
Well, I mean, realistically, I am carrying a crossbow, a rifle, a shotgun, and a flamethrower, in addition to a handgun and a hunting pistol. So, I mean, when you consider that, look, here's a flamethrower that I can use that I just have back there. So, I mean, yeah, hoarding is the way we do it. If I don't have to spend bullets, then I won't. That guy in this building? Is there 2 left? Or is there 3 left? There's at least 2 left. There might be 3. Someone's probably in here. Someone is in here.
In here!
No! No! Hey, hey, I got your friend.
Me? Get off!
Nope. Alright, I've given up on keeping you hostage.
You're right.
What? Oh, oh my god! Oh my god. Can I? Oh my god, suck at video games! I don't want to use those bullets there. I think it checkpointed me after I grabbed those shells. This is the way I play these stupid games.
Wolf in our village!
No. Okay, part of me is debating about just running for the lumber mill and getting the next checkpoint after all. I don't think that there's arrows around here that I can collect. It's not seeming like. I don't think I'm getting my arrows refunded. I headshot people with. That's not good. That's very, very not good, actually. Do I not have to reload it? I'm hitting reload. I clearly used a bullet. Oh, it's probably because I don't have enough bullets to reload into the thing. Oh. You heard nothing. Really? I'm kind of surprised. Oh, that's Yara that I heard. Where did... Oh, you're here! You blended in with the freaking wall! Like I was playing Dead by Daylight against a blendette there. That's what it was like for a second. Like, I actually did not see her. Stop pushing me. Is it really worth it to be spending my bullets here? Because again, there's probably not all that much stuff left for me to pick up anyway. So, I mean... realistically, at least it wasn't a Meg, true. You right. Huh? There was a guy here. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? I swear there was a guy here before. There's another brick that I can pick up if I need to spend one. He freaking vanished. Is he there? How did I not see him? Am I blind? Did he just go around that corner? I didn't check that specific corner or something? What is wrong with me? Okay, you're a bit of a hooligan. Oh, my nose is itchy at the worst possible time here. Oh, he's not gonna shoot me for that somehow. I threw that brick for nothing. Give me this one anyway. Yoink! Don't shoot me. Does he see me under here? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Whoa! Ash. Why is the R not helping me? Whoa, I got up fast. Falcon kick. Okay. Get out of here. That's gotta be everyone in this area now, right? Dialogue?
I think that's it.
Yep, dialogue. All right, that's everyone then.
Yeah. You all right?
Okay, let's just check really quickly if there's anything I missed.
Just a little.
I don't have anything I can use that water on. Here, we're gonna immediately start another Seraphite segment after this, so let's... Oops. Here, another melee weapon, so I got a club. You want with the hammer, though? That'll have more uses. Yeah, I have one more hit of the hammer. You know what? That's not too bad, then. Like, it probably would have made the most sense just to stealth through and, you know, get the checkpoint past the lumber mill. Too late now. Just play this like I play Fire Emblem. Just kill all of them. Why sneak past them or just hit the objective when you can just murderize everyone? I am clearly the target audience of this game because this game's all about learning the lesson of like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be going around like murderizing people and end the cycle of revenge somewhere. So clearly I'm the target audience that needs to learn that lesson. What is going on here? How can I not take that arrow? Clearly that is something I could pick up. Man, maybe I could if I wasn't playing on grounded mode. Anyway, is there anything in here that I can grab? Yes, the Russian version of stealth. You can't alert anyone else if there's no one to call. That is absolutely stealth gaming. No one can see you if there's no one to see you. Look, I played that so stealthily. There's gotta be like some more arrows here or something, right? No? I should have just snuck past. Shouldn't have used any extra bullets there. Oh well. Still have another brick. We're good. Lost a little bit of health to that guy grabbing me, but like that's fine. Is there anything else around here? Nope. All right.